What up, guys? GangstaPranksta bringing the weekly wrestling review for the end of February, beginning of March. Today's show we'll be reviewing the Elimination Chamber, 2 weeks worth of Raw, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. We're also going to be reviewing the special NXT Arrival pay-per-view, which happened around this time, and some wrestling news. But there really is no wrestling news, so when I get there, I'll just, probably end it. So, let's just jump right into it. So first, of course, we had the Elimination Chamber match, or pay-per-view, and I have to say, it was a pretty good show. I mean, if it wasn't for these two matches, I would have been pretty disappointed with it. Well, actually, there was like 3 matches that I really liked. Everything else sucked. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first match, Biggie Langston taking on Jack Swagger for the IC title. A good match, Biggie wins, solid opener. They actually had a decent amount of time, which is kind of surprising because I thought it was going to go like about 6-7 minutes. But they ended up going like 12 to 13 minutes, so it was a nice opener. They did some cool spots, had a good match. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. Next, we got the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team titles. This was pretty good at best. It wasn't as good as the WWE Tag Team title match on Raw, which we'll talk about, later. But it was just okay on the pay-per-view. Nothing much to say about that. The Outlaws ended up winning. I'll talk more about this in a second on Raw. Next, you had Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. I had no expectations going into this match, so I thought it was going to be shit, but it actually turned out to be a little... It was decent. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Titus actually ended up winning. Next, we got one of the best matches on the show. I think that's, for people that have seen it, can agree. The Wyatt family versus the Shield. This was a really good match. One of the best on the show, if not the best. I don't know if it's the best, because the Chamber match was pretty good as well. But it's a pretty close tie between the two. But I really enjoyed this. I love the build-up going into this match. The crowd was so into it. It was just a great back-and-forth match. And I really enjoyed it. One guy I want to talk about that really stood out. Well, actually 2. Dean Ambrose. The past couple weeks that I've been watching here, and his stuff at the Elimination Chamber, I just love him. Like, he's just a fucking loose cannon. He's got to be restrained by Roman and Rollins because it's fucking crazy. He wants to go after Bray Wyatt, but they're like, hey, chill. And I just love his mannerisms and yeah, just how he's a loose cannon. He is amazing. Also, I have to give props to Bray Wyatt, just playing his character so well and just doing a fantastic job of portraying the Bray Wyatt character. So those 2 guys really stood out in this match. They didn't work like Rollins and Harper worked the majority of the match. They had some really good stuff, and yeah, so the Wyatts ended up winning, which, there's big plans for Bray Wyatt. Eventually, of course, it goes on to face Cena at WrestleMania. But, yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this match. Like, it was just very entertaining. I enjoyed every minute of it. Next, we have Cameron versus AJ for the Divas title. This sucked. There's really nothing much to say about this match. I don't think Cameron's very good. I mean, AJ did what she could do, but Cameron's pretty fucking terrible. She's not as bad as Eva. She's just like a little bit above Eva, but not by much, So, she's still pretty terrible. She ended up winning by DQ after Tamina got involved. She like super kicked AJ or something. I don't know. It's a stupid finish and a terrible match. Next, you had Batista, or Bautista, whatever you want to call him, taking on Del Rio. This was okay. I didn't really enjoy this too much. Batista ended up winning. No one gave a shit about this match. The crowd booed the whole time. They hate Batista. We'll be talking about Batista a little bit more later on, but Jesus Christ, this guy, no one wants to see him, right? So it was only a matter of time till, you know, he eventually turned heel, which I think is actually for the best. Cause like I was watching, you know, Raw or more so SmackDown, when he was cutting promos and stuff. One thing I actually, you know, I have to give props to Batista. He's actually a decent promo guy. You know, he's not too bad. I can listen to him talk, and I actually believe what he's saying, especially when he's a heel. He comes off as very arrogant, and yeah, I enjoy his heel promo work. As far as the in-ring work, it's what it is. You know, he's been away for a while, so he blows up very quickly. Even for like a short match like this, he seemed pretty winded. And yeah, so no one cared. Everyone just booed the shit out of it, and it is what it is. Next, we had, of course, the main event Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We had Cesaro, Orton, Sheamus, Cena, Christian, and Daniel Bryan. Really good match. You know, this went like 40 minutes. It was just a solid match. That's just a solid wrestling match. They beat the shit out of each other. They took some crazy bumps. Surprisingly, I was expecting Christian to get taken out of the Elimination Chamber match and then maybe somebody filling in for him, but he actually worked the match, and he was in there for a good while. He did some good stuff. He ended up eliminating Sheamus from a dive off the pod, so he did some good stuff. Every guy shined in this match. Cesaro, we're going to talk a lot about Cesaro. He's just a fucking man right now. And we'll talk about him especially during the NXT Arrival pay-per-view. But, dude, he came off as a star during this match, and I really, really enjoyed that. Orton, you know, he did his thing. Sheamus had some good stuff. Cena, Daniel Bryan also as well. And it was just a solid main event. I really, really enjoyed this match. Of course, the end came when the Wyatt family came in and like attacked Cena or distracted him or something. Then Orton took him out, and then Kane threw them out, and then, which I thought was weird because like they still haven't addressed the whole like Kane Wyatt family thing, because like the Wyatt family took out Kane and whatever, and then like just to see him kind of interact with them, it's like, hey, don't you remember at SummerSlam when they took you out like pretty ruthlessly? And it's like, I don't know. They never mentioned anything about it. They're just like, okay, he's back, whatever. I don't know. That's just me. But, yeah, so Kane came, kicked him out. Daniel Bryan attacked him, and then distracted him long enough for Orton to RKO him and beat him. So, really enjoyed this main event. I don't want to say I really enjoyed the show. There's 3 matches that I really enjoyed. Everything else was just blah to okay. I'd definitely recommend the 6-man tag, Shield and Wyatt family. Absolutely. That in the Elimination Chamber. I'd also recommend Swagger and Biggie Langston for the IC title. I thought they had a good enough match that it's worth checking out. So, overall, a decent little show heading into WrestleMania, but not as exciting as I would have hoped for. The undercard was kind of lackluster, like, you know, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. I'm surprised this wasn't the pre-show match, but it's whatever. So yeah, that's it for Elimination Chamber. Next we got Raw. Let me just check if there's... I know there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First we had Hulk Hogan come out. Of course, you know, he was there for the whole WWE Network thing and whatever. He said... he announced that he was going to be the host of WrestleMania 30, which is cool. You know what? I'm kind of glad to see Hogan back. You know, I gave him a lot of shit for stuff in TNA, and, you know, rightfully so, because... Oh, hold on. I'm going to go turn that off. Rightfully so, because, you know, we don't need 30... oh, my God. How do you turn this? Okay, there. Sorry about that. We don't need 30 Hulk Hogan segments in TNA Impact. You know, one's enough. But just seeing him in WWE, it's just something that, it's just right, you know? I just enjoy seeing him on WWE more than I did on TNA. Maybe more because it's like, okay, Vince is in charge, and like he controls Hogan, where like in TNA, Hogan, no one controls Hogan. He pretty much, like like when they write up the show and stuff, he has the final say. He could be like, no, I want to be in a couple more segments or whatever. So, yeah, I think if he can be controlled and used properly, it's good. So I enjoyed him here. What else do we have here? Oh, the Daniel Bryan. He had a match with Kane. It was a good little match. And then he challenged Triple H to a match at Mania. We'll talk more about that on the next edition of Raw, but I've been enjoying the build-up to this, where it's like, Triple H doesn't want to bother with him. He's like, I only come to wrestle for special matches, and you're a B-plus player, and blah, 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 blah. And I've definitely been enjoying this, especially on the next. Actually, we'll save it for the next edition of Raw, because there's some good stuff. What else do we have? That's about it. Nothing else I really want to talk about. The main event segment is the last thing I want to talk about on this Raw. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out, and they talk about, or more so, Heyman talks about how Lesnar should be the #1 contender for the WWE title, but he's not. And then Triple H gave him like a match he could face anybody he wanted, and he's like, we don't want to face anybody. We want to face the WWE champion. So either give us a shot or we're not appearing at Mania. And then Undertaker randomly comes out. He comes out, goes face to face with Lesnar. And then Lesnar's like, okay, whatever, I'll give you the contract and I'll fight you. And it was just some pretty hokey stuff. You had Taker stab Lesnar's hand with the pen. It came off as really shitty, but whatever. And then he chokeslammed him through the table, and I think it was officially announced then that Taker Lesnar at Mania. So, yay! But we already know the outcome of that and all that stuff. So, yeah. Next we have NXT Arrival. I'm gonna treat this like a pay-per-view review. So, because it was a pay-per-view. Yeah, because it was like a 2-hour show. Yeah, it was a pay-per-view. Whatever. We'll treat this like a pay-per-view. So first off, I want to talk about the whole NXT Arrival thing. The arena looked amazing. It looked great. Triple H opened the show. He welcomed us, and then it started with a cool little opening video, which is now the NXT opening video. I don't know if they still kept it, but from the the next edition of NXT that I watched after this one, they use the same opening promo thing. So I think they're going to be using it from now on. And I like the little thing where it's like it shows all these legends, and then this guy like Triple H, Cena, whatever, and then the future is here or whatever. So I enjoy that. I enjoy that they're giving NXT the spotlight and making it a big deal, because like in the past, OVW, FCW, all their developmental systems were not treated at all. Like, I remember I was listening to Chris Hero talk about something and Colt Cabana talk about something. Well, actually, it was on Colt Cabana's podcast. He had a podcast with Roadkill, and at one point they were in OVW together, and they were talking about the hardships with that, and like they were comparing to it now, and how like WWE takes care of the talent that comes through now. Like if you're injured, they'll let you sit out, and they're working with you now. And they want to take care of their guys, where before they weren't so much taking care of their guys. Like they didn't really care. So I'm glad that WWE is promoting this developmental thing and making a big deal out of it. So whatever. Let's finally get into the pay-per-view. Of course, first match. Let's talk about it. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro in a grudge match. This is their fourth encounter. And it might have been, I don't say it might have been, it was their best encounter yet. This was a really good match. It was amazing. They went all out. They had like 23 minutes, and they just went bananas. I really enjoyed this. There was one spot that I really enjoyed. that Sammy did in the 2 out of 3 falls match, where, you know, as Generico, we all know he's Generico, whatever. He runs, does a dive through that bottom rope, and then catches him in a tornado DDT, whatever. Well, he went for that, and Cesaro caught him with an uppercut, and it just looked awesome. And then Sammy was like stuck in the bottom ring post. It was awesome. I really liked that spot a lot. And they just had a killer match to open up this show. Probably the best match on the show. I think that goes without saying. They fucking tore the house down. You know, like we talked about Cesaro earlier and how he was the man. Holy shit, if he's not the man here, I don't know what's going to make him the man. But they had a really good match. There's really nothing more to say. I think if you haven't watched this NXT Arrival match between Sami Zayn and Cesaro, do that right now. You know, click off the video, watch the rest of the video, then go. Maybe write a checklist of stuff to watch. Like, okay, I gotta watch these couple matches at Elimination Chamber. Okay, NXT Arrival, I gotta watch this. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was great. So it pretty much went downhill from there. Next we had Mojo Rawley versus CJ Parker. Blah match. Mojo wins. Not a big fan of either of these guys. So it was just, I didn't really care for the match. I would've, you know, one complaint I have about NXT Arrival, I would've liked more people to appear. You know, like, this is supposed to be the premiere events for NXT, so I thought they should have brought up more of their players, you know. We didn't see guys like Aiden English, Colin Cassidy, Enzo Amore, who else? There was another name I was thinking of. Aiden, I don't know, whatever. Those were 3 names that came to my head right away when I thought, you know, Corey Graves, that was the other one. Of guys that should have appeared on the show, but they didn't end up appearing. Instead, we got Mojo Rawley and CJ Parker, which is kind of a disappointment, honestly. But whatever, it was what it was. So next, we had the Ascension versus Too Cool in an NXT Tag Team title match. This was okay. I don't know, something didn't click between the two, and I don't know. It was okay. Nothing bad, nothing. Oh, there was some bad stuff in there, but whatever. So the Ascension won, of course, because, you know, I wish there was more tag teams for them to face. Like, I kind of enjoy watching them, but they have no one to face. So whenever they come, it's like, oh shit, the Ascension's here, like, awesome. And it's like once a month, you know, because they have no one to face, so it sucks. And, you know, a lot of people in NXT Arrival, they got new music. The Ascension was one of them. They got awesome music. Adrian Neville got some new music, too. It's pretty good. I think Sammy got some new music. I'm not too sure. I think Paige did as well. There's just a lot of new music. But the Ascension got new music for sure, and it sounds awesome. I really like it. Actually, I like the entrance music more than I did the match. What else do we got? Next, there was 3 matches that were worth shit on this pay-per-view, and they all delivered. You know, the Sammy Cesaro match, the Emma Paige NXT Divas title match, and the ladder match. Those were all the matches people cared about, and they all delivered. So next, Emma versus Paige for the NXT Divas title. Good match. Paige wins. You know, this, one of the better Divas knockouts, whatever women's matches I've seen in a while. You know, they went out there and they had a good match. There's really nothing to say. Paige won with this submission I've never seen before. It looked painful as shit. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's pretty nasty. It looked very painful. So yeah, she won, retained her title. Next we had Tyler Breeze versus Xavier Woods. Match never happened after Alexander Rusev comes out and destroys both guys. So yeah. And then last but not least, Bo Dallas taking on Adrian Neville in a ladder match for the NXT title. They had a good match. It's not the best ladder match I've seen. They didn't really do too many ladder spots until the end. There was a spot it wasn't supposed to be a spot, but like Adrian Neville. Okay, so they were both on the ladder. Bo Dallas gets knocked off. Adrian Neville goes to run at him. They like clunk heads or whatever. Neville falls back, ladder tips over, nails him right in the head. Like he fell down, whatever, and then the ladder just fell on top of his head. I felt so bad for the guy because it looked pretty painful, and yeah, that sucked. But they didn't do anything too crazy. Didn't do anything too crazy with the ladder match. Neville did take a crazy bump. He got pushed off, landed on the apron. That looked pretty vicious. He ended up, I think the finish was he powerbombed him. He powerbombed Bo into a corner with the ladder, and then slammed him on a ladder, did the red arrow, and then got the title. And then he went up, grabbed the title. And yeah, so it was a good match. I enjoyed it. And yeah, there's nothing much to say. You know, Adrian Neville, your new NXT champion. And of course, Bo Dallas, he's getting called up. One thing I want to talk about NXT. God damn, they need some new people. Like, if this was a great example of like them needing a lot of new talent, you know, because like they lose a lot of talent because like after WrestleMania, like Paige got called up, Bo Dallas got called up, Adam Rose got called up, Rusev kind of got called up, and that's 4 big people they just lost in one swoop, and like they haven't really had other, like they haven't created new stars in some time, so it's like they really need some new guys for NXT to kind of like be good. You know, they promote it as like, you know, oh, this is the future, whatever, but the future is looking pretty grim because you haven't really been building new people. You know, you can't build NXT on like 7 or 8 people. You got Sammy, you got Neville, you got the Ascension once in a while, Tyler Breeze, and a handful of other guys. A couple of guys are injured, but god, they need some new people on that show quick. One person I've always wondered about was Solomon Crow, Sami Callihan. I don't know what, like, I don't know why he hasn't appeared on a TV show yet, but yeah, he's someone that should be on there. I don't know, they have so many guys, but yeah, I really don't know. But they need a bunch of guys on that show quick. Next we got Impact. Of course, these impacts were used to build towards Lockdown, which we'll review in the next episode of the Weekly Wrestling Review. On this episode, what do I want to talk about? Nothing really. There's really nothing worth talking about on this episode. Yeah, the main event, I guess that's what we're talking about. MVP versus Bobby Roode with special guest Austin Aries. It was a good match. Roode won, and then, you know, Aries turned on MVP and joined Team Roode for Lockdown. That's about it. Everything else was kind of not worth talking about, honestly. So, that was that. Next we got Smackdown. I don't think there's anything I want to talk about here. Actually there is, the Batista promo. So, of course, he finally turned heel on this Smackdown, and, you know, he talked about, I'm a real star, you know, because I'm big, I'm strong, whatever, and all these, you know, talked about, like, being a man, and, like, everyone else is, like, little boys and stuff, and, you know, I'm glad they finally turned him heel, because, you know, being a baby face was not working for him, and, yeah, and, you know, he's definitely a better heel than he is a baby face, especially when the crowd, you know, doesn't cheer him at all as a baby face, but it's whatever. And, so he had a little promo, whatever. Ziggler came out to challenge him to a match, and they had a match later on. It was okay. It was nothing amazing. Batista ended up winning, but, yeah. And that's about it for SmackDown, honestly. That's all I want to talk about. Next we got Ring of Honor. Nothing. They showed more matches from Wrestling's Finest show, so it wasn't a regular episode of Ring of Honor, which kind of disappointing, but whatever. Next we got Raw. I enjoyed this Raw. This was the Raw in Chicago, where it's like, oh shit, is CM Punk gonna appear? Blah 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 blah. We're gonna hijack the Raw. We're gonna chant CM Punk all night. Blah blah blah. And they chanted CM Punk a lot. I'll give them that. But sadly, no CM Punk appeared. Wild CM Punk has appeared. But yeah, but the show started out with something awesome, which I want to talk about. Paul Heyman. So the CM Punk music hits immediately. I'm surprised they even made mention of him on the show, because it seemed like they were going through great lengths to like not mention him, and then like, oh, we're gonna acknowledge him, we're gonna play his music, we're gonna talk about him, whatever. So this music starts, crowd goes ape shit, and then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman comes out, and the crowd's like, boo! It's great. Paul Heyman's the man. He is definitely one of the top heels in the company. He might be. He might be the top heel in the company. I'm thinking, well, you got Bray Wyatt and stuff. He's definitely more of a heel than Orton. He might be the top heel in the company. I'm not sure. I'd have to really think about it, but he's definitely top 3. He might be number 1. Yeah, I think so. I think he might be the best heel in the company. Anyways, whatever. So he comes out, sits in the middle of the ring like Punk has done in the past, and he drops his own pipe bomb. He talks about CM Punk not being a WWE guy, and how they wanted him to fail so bad, but he overcame it, and he became something special. And he wished he was here tonight, which is kind of weird, because like the last time they had interactions, it was Punk beating the shit out of Heyman with a cane, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're buddies. So I don't know, whatever. So whatever, he blames Punk walking away on the Undertaker. Nice way to kind of bring it around, talking about Punk and whatever to appease the crowd, and then kind of pinning it on the Undertaker to build towards that. And so he blamed Punk walking away on the Undertaker, because he's like, ever since Punk faced Undertaker at WrestleMania and couldn't beat him, he's been on the downward spiral, and he wants revenge on Undertaker by ending the streak. So it's an interesting little storyline there. So CM Punk walked away because of Undertaker, because he couldn't beat him. So now Heyman wants to beat Undertaker to revenge CM Punk, because Undertaker caused him to leave, which it's stretching it a lot, but whatever. If it works, it works. And so whatever. So Lesnar comes out and says that unlike other people, he's gonna conquer the streak. Blah blah blah. And yeah, Mark Henry comes out and Lesnar just destroys him. Lesnar almost destroyed a fan too, threw a fucking monitor in the crowd, and whew, that could have been a lawsuit waiting to happen. What else do we got? Next, we have the Usos versus the New Age Outlaws for the WWE Tag Team titles. Good match. Usos win and are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Way better than their Elimination Chamber match. The crowd was red hot all night, which was awesome. And yeah, they just had a good match. Looking back, I don't know why they didn't do it at Elimination Chamber and like saved it for Raw, but whatever. It is what it is. But Usos finally WWE Tag Team Champions. I like seeing that. I do. I like it a lot. Alright, next we got some dissension. I want to mention this. Some dissension in the real American ranks. Of course, it started with Elimination Chamber with Jack Swagger and Biggie Langston. And then the next, I didn't talk about it on the last episode of Raw, but whatever. And Cesaro and Biggie had a match, and then Swagger got involved, and then here we had Cesaro and Biggie in a rematch. Swagger got involved again, and Cesaro was kind of pissed off, and then they had a rematch later on the night, or Swagger and Big E had a match later on, and then it ended immediately because Cesaro got involved. And so, you know, of course, we all know that the Real Americans end up breaking up, which, you know, it's time. You know, Cesaro is definitely the breakout superstar if we have to compare them both. Which is kind of strange because, you know, at one point Swagger, I think it was last WrestleMania, you know, he's fighting for the world title and now he's feuding with Cesaro. I don't know. And now Cesaro's kind of, you know, on the, it's weird because, like, Cesaro's been on the up and up and then Swagger was, like, up there. And now it's like Swagger's kind of declining and Cesaro's going up. So, I'm so happy for Cesaro that, you know, he's finally getting recognized, you know, as a great worker and you know, having his chance at the WWE main event. It's pretty awesome. He's worked hard for it. Anyways, next we have the Shield versus the Wyatt family in a rematch from the Elimination Chamber. It was a really good match. I think their Elimination Chamber match was a little bit better than this one, but it was still really good. And the Wyatts win after Seth Rollins walks out on the Shield. This, like, when I read this, like, when it happened a while ago, I was like, oh, they're going to break up the Shield and they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. And then you come to find out, it's like, okay, they're not breaking up. Okay, they might break up. They're not breaking up. I don't know. I don't know what what the original plans were, but it definitely seemed like they were breaking up and then not breaking up. So I don't know. But whatever. Next we have oh, this is something I want to talk about. Daniel Bryan comes out and challenges Triple H to another match at WrestleMania, and you know, they had some good back and forth. I enjoyed this. I love the crowd booing Stephanie McMahon so loud you could barely hear her. And they chanted yes really fucking loud. And yeah, it was a cool little moment because, like, the crowd was just so for Daniel Bryan, just hated Stephanie and Triple H. And, like, every time Triple H or Stephanie, you know, tried to bury Bryan or whatever, the crowd just, yes, 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 yes. It was so fucking deafening, and it was just awesome to see the crowd behind Daniel Bryan like that. So whatever, you know, they go back and forth. They had some good promo work. Daniel Bryan, one thing I want to talk about, he was a terrible promo guy before. He's actually really good now. You know, he seems comfortable with it. And I kind of enjoy listening to him talk. Like, before it's kind of like, he's not comfortable, this sucks, you know, it's terrible to watch. But, you know, he's definitely coming to his own, because he's worked with a lot of good people on the mic that probably have helped him out quite a bit, so, yeah, it's good to see. I do enjoy his promo work. So whatever, him and Triple H go back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Eventually Triple H tells Bryan to get out of his ring. They go back and forth some more. Eventually Kane comes out. Bryan beats him up, and security takes him out. And of course, in the main event, we had Batista versus Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match. Probably Batista's best match since he came back. He won by DQ after he kicked Triple H in the head, and Triple H gave him the pedigree. I'm enjoying the feud between Daniel Bryan and Triple H. I'm enjoying the build-up. I'm kind of interested to see, like, how things would have played out if, like, CM Punk would have stayed. Like, how would the whole angle have worked? Because, like, originally it was supposed to be like Punk and Kane, and then I think transitioning that into what Triple H and Bryan were doing. And then it's like, okay, if Punk was still there, would Bryan have won at Elimination Chamber? Like, how would he have been thrusted into the main event? He definitely would have had to win at Elimination Chamber or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking about that while I was watching this. I'm like, I wonder how CM Punk would have factored into this. But you know, I enjoyed this. I think it all worked out for the best in the end. You know, having Bryan feud with Triple H, because it only makes sense. Like, it'd be kind of stupid if you had Daniel Bryan, you know, Triple H has been trying to hold him down, blah, 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 for like so many months, and then he never gets his revenge on Triple H. Like, what? I think this ended up working well, because like he beat him at WrestleMania and then went on to win the title, and everyone goes home happy. So I'm glad this happened. So next we got NXT, the episode after the Arrival pay-per-view. It was a decent little show. The only thing I really want to talk about is Adam Rose. Whoa, 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 whoa. I like him. I saw his Raw debut, and you know, don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. I like him. I like the Adam Rose character. I think more than Leo Kruger. I enjoyed him as Leo Kruger, but you know, here he shows some personality, and we all know he's a good wrestler from like his Leo Kruger days. But I enjoy the Adam Rose character. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with him on WWE. Cause like to me, he seems like a comedy character right now. I don't know. I don't know what I see for him in the future. He doesn't really fit to me, at least not right now. I guess I'll have to like watch him for a couple more weeks or a month or whatever, give him some time to see where he fits in. But as of right now, he just I don't know where I see him in the bigger plane of things. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do like the character. Let me know in the comments if you like Adam Rose. Don't be a lemon, be a rose. Whoa, whoa. I like his theme music. It's very catchy. I like his entrance too. That's something I like as well, where you know they catch him and then they put him on the ring. I enjoy that. I enjoy it. So, Adam Rose, he's the man. Next we got TNA again. What do I want to talk about here? This was the final episode leading into lockdown, so they pushed lockdown pretty heavy. You know, MVP announced his fourth was going to be Jeff Hardy, and stuff like that, and then you know, building up towards the Samuel Shaw and Eric Young thing. The show didn't start out very good. I'll talk about that. This episode of Impact, ah, man. Okay, so the first match was MVP and the Wolves versus Robbie E, Austin Aries, and Bobby Roode in a 6-man tag to see who gets the main advantage at the Lockdown pay-per-view. It was a good match. No one won after Aries attacks Davey with a chair, and the ref ends the match because Davey can't compete because of shoulder, blah, 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 blah. So that ends by no contest. And then the second match we have, Samuel Shaw versus Eric Young. Okay, it was an okay match. There's nothing special. And this match ends by no contest as well. So we're 35 minutes into the show. We have 2 matches. None of them have had decisive winners. And it's like, what? I can understand the first match, but the second one, like, I don't know. It's whatever. But yeah, I was just kind of like, this is stupid. You know, we've had 2 matches, they both end by no contest. I was just like, facepalm. But, I don't know, I kind of want to talk about TNA now, like currently what's going on, you know, with the menagerie. Finally saw Rebel. Holy shit. She's pretty smoking hot. You know, that whole thing, I don't know. From what I've read and all the stuff that they're doing on TNA, it just seems like they're trying to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I don't know. I don't know what this whole menagerie thing is going to lead to. What else? The whole Bram thing with Magnus. Apparently it's supposed to be teaming eventually, even though it seems like they're going to feud. The whole Willow thing, I still don't get it. Yeah. What else? The whole MVP turning heel. Like, I talked, fuck, where did I talk about this? I think I talked about it on Universe, the newest episode of Universe. Like, okay, TNA just did the whole evil owner thing, with Dixie, and now they're doing it again with MVP. Like, what? But the whole MVP thing seems more WWE-ish, where it's like, where MVP comes off as Triple H, and like, oh, do this or you're gonna be fired, and blah 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 blah. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not watching the current product because I'm, a little bit behind. But from what I read, I don't know. It's I want to say it sucks from what I read, but I'd have to watch it first. But I don't really like what I read. It sounds like I said, throwing shit at a wall, see what sticks, and I don't know. That's all I can say about that. What else do we have on this show? So back to the whole building up to lockdown thing. One thing I want to talk about the whole build up, this whole Samuel Shaw Christie thing. I don't really care for it. It's whatever. And Anderson getting involved. They had a backstage segment where Shaw was looking for Christie and whatever, and he finds Anderson in a red wig, and Anderson attacks him. This was probably the best build-up for this match. Other than that, I don't know. I don't like this whole Samuel Shaw thing with Christie and whatever. I mean, from what I heard, their match at Lockdown was absolutely terrible. And then, they had the committed match, and then, Samuel Shaw's in a mental asylum now. Like, I don't know what's up with that. Is he gone from TNA? Because, from what I've read, they haven't made mention of him. So he might be gone, but I don't know. I said this from the beginning, okay, the character's interesting, but what's it gonna lead to? I guess it was just leading to him getting released from TNA. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's released as of yet, but it definitely looks that way. What else do we have? We had Bobby Roode and Davey Richards finish off their match from earlier. It was a good match. Roode won. And then to end out the show, we had Joe and Magnus come out for a face-off. I didn't care for this match too much. Or this whole feud, this whole Joe and Magnus feud, it's definitely got overlooked because the whole focus is on the Lethal Lockdown match and control the company and whatever. And but yeah, I don't know, Joe and Magnus for the TNA World Title. I'm just not that big into Joe anymore, honestly. He's definitely lost some of his allure for me. Magnus I kind of like, but this whole feud I wasn't looking forward to it. I'll say that. So that's it for Impact. Next we got Smackdown. Hold on, is there anything else? There's two things I want to talk about on this. First, Batista comes out, cuts a heel promo again. Another good heel promo. Daniel Bryan comes out. He has some good back and forth with Batista. I absolutely love how he made mention of Batista's skinny jeans, belly button tattoo, and his nose ring. I thought that was hilarious. I was waiting for the day someone was going to talk about his skinny jeans. Because this guy, he tries to act tough, but you can't in a pair of skinny jeans. And he made fun of Batista. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. And, whatever, they did some stuff. Kane came out, attacked Bryan. Big Show randomly came out, They're just like, oh yeah, let's just throw Big Show in random shit. Oh, let's throw him in a thing with Lesnar. Let's throw him in this. Let's throw him in that. Like, whatever happened to the whole Big Show Triple H thing? I don't know. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the Shield Summits. Where Dean Ambrose and Roman, they come out, talk about Rollins walking out on them on Raw. Rollins comes out and says they haven't been themselves and they need to get on the same page. And then they slap each other and fight a little bit, and then they make up. So I don't know. It just seemed like the creative team did like didn't know what they wanted to do with the Shield. Like, I don't know. It seemed like, you know, 1 week we're gonna break them up, 1 week we're gonna have a team. 1 week we're gonna tease them breaking up. Next week, oh no, we'll make them a team again. Oh wait, let's tease the breakup. I don't know. And now they're stronger than ever, taking on the Evolution. So, way to go, creative. Yeah, so good. So to end out the show, we had Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor just showed matches from the 12th anniversary show, which we already watched and reviewed. I believe we reviewed that on the last episode, so no need to watch that. And there's no news, nothing newsworthy to talk about on this episode, so that's going to be it. Pretty flat finish to the weekly wrestling review, but yeah, that's okay. So yeah, that's going to be it for the weekly wrestling review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Come back next time where we're going to have reviews for Lockdown. I believe Lockdown's the only pay-per-view on the docket. I could be wrong. There might be a TNA One Night Only show. There hasn't been one in a while, but I'll have to check on that. So yeah, Lockdown for sure. 2 weeks for the Raw, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, and Ring of Honor. I think that's about it. Nothing else is popping in my head, so that's going to be it for the show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time, like I said. And yeah, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch me next time. Till then, guys. Peace out.